Anxious thoughts are like silent destroyers, slowly and steadily undermining our inner resources. Initially, they may seem insignificant and easily manageable, but over time, their accumulation can lead to profound internal upheavals and exhaustion. This invisible pressure, hidden from the eyes of others, gradually erodes our emotional and physical well-being, depriving us of the joy of the present moment and faith in our own abilities. It is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things, wrote the ancient Greek philosopher Epictetus, pointing out that our perceptions and thoughts have immense power over our state of being. Anxious thoughts, if allowed to take root, can become barriers to living a fulfilling life, subjecting us to illusions and fears that have no real power. Illusory fears, those phantoms of our minds, have the ability to seize us, pulling us into an endless whirlpool of worry and anxiety. The thought of the future, this uncertain and incomprehensible territory, often instills in us fear of events that may never occur. Such fear breeds illusions that distort our perception of reality, akin to shadows flickering on the walls of a cave. When we succumb to these fears, we lose sight of the present, missing out on the beauty and significance of the current moment. Every minute of life lived in fear of the future robs us of the joy of the present, much like clouds obscuring the sunlight. But the future has not yet arrived, and no one knows what it will hold. How often do our anxious premonitions prove false, and our fears groundless? Imagine a person worrying about impending failures, fearing loss, illness, or misfortune. Their mind is constantly occupied with thoughts of what could go wrong. They construct gloomy scenarios in their imagination, each one becoming increasingly daunting. But are these fears justified? How often do they come true? And even if some of them materialize, is it worthwhile to fret over what has not yet happened? Instead of tormenting ourselves with illusory fears, it is worth considering, what is real in this moment? Right now, at this very moment, you are alive, you are breathing, you possess the ability to think and feel. Feel that, experience the fullness of the present moment. Remember that true strength lies in the ability to control our thoughts, rather than succumb to them. In moments when fear of the future attempts to seize your mind, ask yourself, what is truly happening right now? Is there any real threat at this very moment? If you find that there is nothing in the present moment that could harm you, realize that your fears are nothing but illusions, born from the imagination. Focus on what you can control here and now. Instead of wasting energy on worries about what may never happen, direct your efforts towards living honorably and wisely in the current moment. Illusory fears are shadows in our minds. When we begin to notice and acknowledge them, their power over us diminishes. Once we recognize their nature, we can learn to let them go, much like the morning mist dissipates under the rays of the rising sun. Rather than fearing what may come to pass, it is better to strengthen our inner resources, develop our abilities and wisdom, to be prepared for whatever twists life may bring. Losing the present moment is one of the greatest tragedies that can befall us when we allow anxious thoughts to hijack our minds. By focusing on worries about the future, we miss out on the joys and opportunities that the present moment offers us. Our consciousness becomes a prisoner of illusory fears, and we cease to notice the beauty and abundance that surround us here and now. Imagine a person sitting in a beautiful garden, surrounded by flowers, scents, and the songs of birds. Instead of enjoying this wonderful moment, they are immersed in thoughts of potential troubles and misfortunes that may occur tomorrow or a year from now. They think about problems that may arise at work, about health that may falter, about money that may run out. As a result, they miss the opportunity to relish a moment that may never come again. The garden they are in becomes a backdrop that they don't even notice. When we lose the present moment, we not only deprive ourselves of joy, but also miss opportunities for growth, learning, and creating beautiful memories. Our most important moments in life are those that happen here and now. It's the smile of a loved one, the conversation with a friend, the opportunity to help someone in need. When we are consumed by worries about the future, we lose these moments, and with them, our life. Anxious thoughts create an imaginary world where our fears become real. We begin to live in this world, forgetting that it has nothing to do with reality. Our minds create scenarios that are unlikely to ever happen, but we focus on them so much that they begin to control our lives. We become prisoners of our thoughts, forgetting that real life happens here and now. Stoicism teaches us the art of living in the present moment. It reminds us that the only moment we truly possess is the present one. The past is already past, the future has not yet come, and the only thing we have is the present. When we realize this, we begin to live more fully and consciously. We start to notice the beauty of the surrounding world, appreciate the people around us, and enjoy every moment as a precious gift. Life is not a series of events that happen in the future, but rather what happens right now. If we learn to cherish the present moment, we will discover new horizons of joy and fulfillment. We will begin to see opportunities that previously passed us by and use them for our growth and development. We will be grateful for every day, for every minute, for every moment. Emotional exhaustion caused by constant worries can significantly undermine our inner state and make us more vulnerable to stress. This state resembles a fire smoldering steadily within, gradually consuming our life energy and strength. Our emotions become weary, and ultimately, we may feel incapable of coping with daily challenges and difficulties. Anxious thoughts relentlessly assault our minds like drops of water dripping on a stone, gradually eroding our inner resilience. We constantly fret about potential negative outcomes, replaying catastrophic scenarios in our heads, and our consciousness is always on high alert. This tension, like an invisible burden, weighs on our shoulders, denying us the chance to relax and enjoy the moment. Constant worries deplete us emotionally, as they require significant resources to sustain. Our emotions, like physical strength, have their limits, and if we don't allow ourselves the opportunity to recharge, we risk plunging into a state of complete exhaustion. In this state, even the most mundane life situations can seem insurmountable obstacles, and the slightest difficulties evoke a storm of negative emotions. When we find ourselves in a state of emotional exhaustion, our ability to adapt and respond to stress diminishes. We become more prone to irritation, despondency, and apathy. This creates a vicious cycle. The more we worry, the more exhausted we become, and the more exhausted we become, the less capable we are of coping with worries and stress. Ultimately, we may lose the ability to enjoy life, feel joy, and derive satisfaction from simple things. Stoicism offers us a powerful tool for overcoming this state: mindful management of our thoughts and emotions. Instead of allowing anxious thoughts to hijack our minds, we can learn to observe them from a distance, without succumbing to their influence. We can acknowledge their existence, but not grant them power over our inner world. This approach helps us preserve emotional resources and use them more wisely. Instead of fighting against worries, Stoicism suggests we accept them as an inevitable part of the human experience, but not allow them to dominate our lives. We can learn to shift our focus from negative thoughts to the positive aspects of our lives, to those moments that bring us joy and satisfaction. This allows us to restore balance and strengthen our emotional resilience. Moreover, it is important to remember the need for regular rest and recovery. Our minds and bodies need periods of rest to replenish strength and recharge energy. Practices like meditation, mindfulness, physical activity, and quality sleep all help us maintain our emotional health and protect us from exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion is not the end, but a signal that changes are needed in our lives. Stoicism teaches us that our inner world and our attitude towards what is happening play a key role in our well-being. By embracing this, we can begin to build a life where worries do not control us, but we ourselves manage our emotions and reactions. This is the path to inner freedom, peace, and true happiness. Disrupted sleep caused by constant worries is yet another insidious consequence of anxious thoughts. Sleep is a time when our bodies recover, recharge, and prepare for the new day. However, when worries infiltrate our minds, they can disrupt this vital process, leading to insomnia or restless, interrupted sleep. Imagine that the mind is a tranquil lake that should sink into deep, quiet rest as night falls. But anxious thoughts are like stones thrown into the water, creating waves and preventing the lake from settling. Instead of smoothly drifting into sleep, we toss and turn, replaying the day's events and fears about the future in our heads. As a result, our sleep becomes superficial and fails to provide the desired rest. Insomnia is one of the most common consequences of anxious thoughts. When we cannot sleep because our minds are preoccupied with constant worries, we deprive ourselves of the necessary time for recovery. Accumulated sleep deprivation leads to chronic fatigue, decreased concentration and productivity, worsening mood, and even physical health problems. Even if we manage to fall asleep, anxious thoughts can cause restless sleep. We may wake up several times during the night, experience feelings of anxiety upon awakening, or have unpleasant dreams and nightmares. Such sleep does not provide restful sleep and can leave us feeling tired and worn out the next day. The lack of quality sleep exacerbates a person's overall condition. Without sufficient rest, our bodies are unable to effectively cope with stress, and our emotional and physical resources are depleted even faster. We become more irritable, sensitive, and less capable of handling everyday tasks and challenges. Stoicism offers powerful tools to combat sleep disturbances caused by anxious thoughts. Firstly, mindfulness and meditation can help us calm our minds before sleep. Practices of mindful breathing and meditation help slow down the flow of thoughts, reduce stress levels, and prepare the mind for rest. Secondly, it is beneficial to develop evening rituals that promote relaxation and preparation for sleep. This could include reading a book, taking a warm bath, listening to calming music, or engaging in gentle yoga. Creating a calm and relaxing environment before sleep helps shift focus from worries to more peaceful and soothing thoughts. It is also important to be aware of and manage our thoughts throughout the day, so that they do not accumulate and turn into bedtime worries. Reflecting on what we can control and accepting what is beyond our control helps reduce anxiety levels and prepares the mind for rest. Establishing healthy sleep habits also plays an important role. Regular bedtime and wake-up times, avoiding heavy meals and caffeine before bedtime, as well as limiting screen time, can contribute to improving sleep quality. Constant doubts and anxious thoughts undermine your belief in your own abilities and possibilities, which can lead to a loss of self-confidence. Confidence is the foundation on which our achievements, goals, and successes are built. It allows us to act decisively, take on challenges, and move forward. However, when the mind is filled with doubts, this foundation begins to crumble. Imagine confidence as a fortress built on a solid foundation. Each of our achievements, every obstacle overcome, adds a new stone to this fortress, making it taller and stronger. But anxious thoughts and doubts are like erosion, gradually eating away at the foundation, making the walls less stable. Over time, if no action is taken, the fortress may collapse. When doubts start to control our thoughts, they trigger a chain reaction. Doubt in one area of life can spread to others, and even aspects where we previously felt confident can begin to seem insurmountable. For example, failure at work can make us doubt our professional skills, which can then lead to doubts in personal relationships or in our ability to handle everyday tasks. Doubts also feed fears. When we constantly doubt our abilities, we begin to fear failure, judgment, or rejection. This fear can paralyze us, hindering us from taking actions that could lead to success. We start avoiding new opportunities, avoiding risk, and staying within our comfort zone, which in the long run limits our growth and development. Stoicism offers approaches that can help us deal with doubts and strengthen our self-confidence. One of the key principles of Stoicism is the understanding that we can only control our thoughts and actions. External circumstances and the opinions of others are beyond our control, and therefore should not affect our self-esteem and confidence. Practicing mindfulness helps us recognize and stop negative thoughts and doubts before they become destructive. This requires regular reflection and self-observation. By asking ourselves questions like, "What am I feeling right now? Why do I doubt my abilities?" we can understand the roots of our doubts and start working to eliminate them. Reflections on past experiences can also be helpful. Remember moments when you successfully dealt with difficulties. These memories serve as reminders of your abilities and strength. Every challenge overcome is evidence of your competence and ability to achieve success, even when circumstances seem insurmountable. Taking action is also an important aspect of building confidence. Even small steps towards our goals can significantly improve our self-esteem. When we take action despite doubts and fears, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of handling challenges. This creates a positive cycle. Actions strengthen confidence, and confidence, in turn, motivates us to take new actions. The support of others also plays an important role. By surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us and support our efforts, we gain additional resources to combat doubts. Their belief in our abilities can serve as a powerful antidote to internal anxieties and insecurities. Anxiety-inducing thoughts, akin to invisible poison, can seep into our relationships with loved ones, causing irritability and discontent. These emotions can erode the trust, understanding, and love that form the foundation of any strong bond. As a result, our relationships begin to suffer, transforming from a source of support and joy into a font of stress and conflict. Anxiety often leads to heightened sensitivity and irritability. When the mind is constantly preoccupied with anxious thoughts, even minor annoyances or everyday trivialities can seem like serious issues. This can trigger disproportionate reactions to the words or actions of loved ones, leading to misunderstandings and arguments. A person in a constant state of anxiety may be prone to outbursts of anger or unjustly blaming others for their problems. These negative emotions can accumulate, creating tension in relationships. Gradually, irritability and dissatisfaction become constant companions in communication, displacing joy, warmth, and mutual understanding. Loved ones begin to feel rejected or undervalued, leading to alienation and the rupture of emotional bonds. Anxious thoughts can also make us withdrawn and distrustful. In constant anxiety, we may begin to suspect others of ill intentions or of lacking care and attention. This can evoke unwarranted jealousy, suspicion, and control, which destructively affect trust and mutual understanding in relationships. Without trust, relationships lose their depth and sincerity, becoming formal and superficial connections. Stoicism offers effective ways to deal with anxious thoughts and maintain harmony in relationships. One of the main principles of Stoicism is understanding the difference between what we can control and what we cannot. We cannot control the thoughts and actions of other people, but we can control our reactions and emotions. This realization helps us not to transfer our anxieties onto loved ones, but instead focus on how we can support and strengthen our relationships. The practice of mindfulness and meditation can help us recognize and manage anxious thoughts. Mindfulness teaches us to be present in the moment, observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. This helps us realize when anxious thoughts begin to influence our behavior and prevent negative reactions. Regular meditation strengthens our inner peace, creating space for tranquility and reason. Communication is a key element in maintaining healthy relationships. Open and honest communication allows us to express our feelings and experiences without blaming or attacking others. This creates an atmosphere of trust and understanding where everyone feels heard and supported. Stoics believed in the importance of logic and reason in communication, helping to avoid emotional outbursts and unfounded accusations. Showing empathy and compassion also plays an important role. Understanding that other people may be experiencing their own difficulties and emotions helps us be more tolerant and supportive during challenging times. Empathy allows us not only to better understand loved ones, but also to build deeper and more meaningful connections. Anxiety-inducing thoughts can cloud our ability to enjoy successes and appreciate our own achievements. Instead of taking pride in our accomplishments and rejoicing in them, we may constantly worry about the future or downplay our successes. This inability to savor what has been achieved can lead to chronic dissatisfaction and even burnout. When a person is constantly in a state of anxiety, their mind is focused on potential problems and failures. Even after reaching a goal or receiving recognition, Anxious thoughts can make us doubt our successes or consider them insufficiently significant. We may think that our achievements are mere flukes, that we are not good enough, or that success will not last long. These thoughts undermine our self-esteem and hinder us from experiencing joy and satisfaction from what we have accomplished. Anxiety can also drive us to constantly seek improvement and pursue new goals, not giving ourselves time to enjoy what has already been achieved. We may find ourselves in a perpetual race towards the next goal, forgetting the need to pause and appreciate the journey already traveled. This leads to the devaluation of successes, turning them into mere steps on an endless path to something greater. Stoicism teaches us to accept things as they are and focus on the present moment. One of the key principles of Stoicism is gratitude for what we already have and an awareness of the value of the current moment. Instead of constantly striving for more and better, we should learn to see and appreciate our achievements here and now. This allows us to experience true satisfaction and joy from the work done. The practice of gratitude helps us realize and appreciate our successes. Every day, we can take time to reflect on what has been achieved and thank ourselves for our efforts and hard work. This helps create a positive perception of our successes and strengthens our self-esteem. Instead of focusing on what still needs to be done, we can rejoice in what has already been achieved. It is also important to learn to accept compliments and recognition from others. Anxious thoughts may lead us to reject praise or deem it insincere. It is important to remember that recognition and support from others are important aspects of our success and motivation. By accepting compliments, we affirm the value of our achievements and strengthen our self-confidence. Stoics also emphasize the importance of internal satisfaction and independence from external evaluations. Our successes and achievements have true value when they bring us inner satisfaction, not when they are acknowledged by others. This helps us focus on our own values and aspirations, rather than on the expectations and opinions of others. Studying and practicing Stoicism can significantly improve the quality of our lives. Accepting things as they are, maintaining tranquility in any situation, controlling our emotions, being grateful for what we already have, and preserving dignity in difficulties. All these principles help us become stronger, wiser, and happier. Life is not just a series of external events, but also our inner world, our perception, and attitude towards what happens. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies within us, and that, despite external circumstances, we can always choose how to react and how to live. Every day presents us with an opportunity to apply these principles. When faced with difficulties, we can choose tranquility and dignity. By being aware of our emotions, we can channel them constructively. Being grateful for what we have, we can find joy in every moment. Accepting the inevitable, we can free ourselves from unnecessary stress and worries. May these ideas become a source of inspiration and strength for you. May they help you find harmony and joy in each day, see beauty in simple things, and find strength in the most challenging moments. Live with mindfulness and gratitude, control your emotions, and preserve your dignity. After all, this is the true art of living. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of Stoicism. I hope these ideas resonate with you and help you on your path. Wishing you inner peace, wisdom, and joy in each day. Take care of yourself And until we meet again.